I'm E.
I'm Rob.
I'm J.U.S.
Welcome to the next movement, folks.
All I know is heartbreak, knives in my damn back. All I know is disappointment. I know how to bounce back. 150,000. I know how to count that. It's rats in a maze and it's feeling like a mousetrap. Cheese, cheese, cheese. Feeling like a mousetrap. Cheese, cheese, cheese. Feeling like a mousetrap. Can't stop, won't stop thinking about Carisha. I think I'm Puff Daddy cause I sell a lot of reefer. Whole lot of indica, really no sativa. How you stressed out, now you getting alopecia. Warrants with the state, now you ride no license. Peasy at a party and you ain't get invited. Tom Joyner cruise, all your friends on the island. Lobster tail dreams, but you eating Coney Island. Punches went through, bought a belt, you excited. Tired of living rough when you know you a rider. Whipped a dope bowl till it broke, now you angry. Had to rob the liquor store before, can you blame it? A bitch on the floor for the bros and you salty. Bitch back, tell my hater shake off. I ain't worried about yours, so don't worry what it cost me. On the first we be bossy. All I know is heartbreak, knives in my damn back. All I know is disappointment. I know how to bounce back. 150,000. I know how to count that. It's rats in a maze and it's feeling like a mousetrap. Cheese, cheese, cheese.
J.U.S., thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you coming through.
Appreciate y'all having me, dog. Thank y'all very much.
Absolutely, absolutely, of course. So you have a new project out that a lot of folks have been talking about, produced by Squadda B, and it's called Third Shift.
Yes.
Last week, Pitchfork named it Best New Album. And I want to read a quote from the article that accompanies this title. So I can't remember the writer's name that covered the piece, but they
Alphonse
say,
Pierre.
beautiful. Thank you for that. So he says, there's not a lot of frills to his raps, his being you, but Squadda's beats are always pulling him in different directions, rarely letting him get too comfortable. Did it feel like it was challenging for you to marry your writing with the production on this project?
No, not at all. You know what I mean? Because Squad is a good friend of ours. He Bruiser Brigade, you know what I'm saying? We've been rocking with him for a long time. So it's just like we got a lot of producers, that's Bruiser Brigade and Bruiser Brigade affiliates. So, you know what I'm saying? They all bring something different to the table. And I've been a fan of Squatters music for a long time,
Hmm.
with Main Attraction. So I knew what I was getting into. It just wasn't like I had never heard the stuff before. You know what I'm saying? It was just, finding the ones that I could get, busy with. Yeah, but I don't think it was necessarily an issue or nothing like, it was
Right.
more natural.
Yeah, than the articles making it seem like.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Thanks for clearing that up.
But he was right. I'm a no frills type of rapper. You know what I mean? Like I ain't really got a lot of bunch of dog and
Yeah.
pony show tricks. I'm just really just spitting. You know what I'm saying? I'm really consider myself like a poet. I'm a poet. You know what I mean? So I just put my little poetry on whatever it could fit on.
Yeah, I think what you see is what you get.
Yeah, so type shit.
In that same Pitchfork article, the
Mm.
author kind of places Third Shift in line with past collaborations between artists from the Bay Area, from Oakland, and artists from Detroit. And as you said, Squatta B is already familiar. He's teamed up with Danny Brown, and we can talk more about that when we get to Triple X.
Mhm.
But I'm wondering what led the two of you to work together on a full length project like this. And in the process of making it, like, did you have any thought at all about past collaborations between Oakland and Detroit artists?
Yeah, me and Squatter, we talked about that. But so he my first album, he produced a song called "Have Mercy" with me and Danny Brown on God Goku Jay Z. And we linked up. He came to Bruiser Thanksgiving that same year, and that's when we first talked about like us linking up and doing some more stuff. You know what I mean? And I was like, shoot, it'd be an honor and a pleasure. You know what I mean? We got a studio in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? It's like a 5 bedroom house in downtown Detroit, and that's where our studio is. And he came and stayed, and then we just he was just playing me joints, and it kind of just like over the course of like a year and a half, it just kind of rolled. All every time he would come, we would do a couple joints, and it's like, oh shit, we got an album. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it just kind of came together.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, it felt natural. Once we had like 4 or 5 songs, we like, oh, we about to do a whole album then.
So I spent a lot of time thinking about the title Third Shift, and that's something that I always do when I'm listening to a new project. I consider the title and how it might fit with the overall theme. So I was considering what third shift means, like in the traditional sense. So, like if you're
Hmm.
looking at it through a standard lens, right? So a lot of times this is one of the hardest shifts to work. Like if you're
Yeah,
working
yeah, it
for a
is.
company, yeah. So why, the rest of the world is sleeping, folks on third shifts are up, they're holding down the fort, sometimes seeing and experiencing a lot of crazy ass shit with little or no
Yeah, yeah,
support. The job requires you to constantly be on your toes, even when your efforts are not acknowledged or appreciated. And sometimes the work is exhausting and sometimes it's exhilarating. And a lot of folks work third shift because they have to. Does that feel relatable when you think about your experiences, the trajectory of your career, and what it's taken you to get to the place that you're in now?
yeah. It's like synonymous with like, I don't work the third shift on jobs. You get a night shift premium. You work, 11 to 7:30, something like that. Just work through the night type stuff, and then I just related a lot to it. And then we recorded a lot of these songs like very late at night. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Mm-hmm.
say, we got to add on like when he came to stay with us in Detroit, it's a lot of artists in this house. You got Fat Ray, you got Bruiser Wolf, you got Quentin Ahmad the Guy, you got Zaloopers, you got, our producers, Gully, Black Noise, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people that have been in and out the crib, you know what I'm saying? So to get up in the top studio or A room, you know what I mean? You kind of got to like, you kind of got to wait everybody out, you know what I mean? So once everybody go home, you know what I mean? We in there recording 2, 3 in the morning, you know what I mean? Late night, 4 or 5 in the morning, and I'm a late person, and then it was surprise, he from Oakland, so he 3 hours back. So always when he here, you know what I'm saying, he it don't feel like 3 in the morning to him. It's only 12 noon, it's 12 midnight. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that kind of like went together between me working third shifts and like me just wanting to add like that Detroit, plant worker, hard grind, you know what I'm saying, element to
Yeah.
it. And the fact that we recorded it very late at night, you know what I'm saying? That's just that's how I came up with the third shift kind of concept. And when I told Squadda about it, he was like, "Oh, that's fire. Let's run it."
Yeah, yeah, it definitely. I mean, I think it fits with everything that's going on in the album, including the cover, like this picture. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, it
That's a picture of JNAP. That's the Jefferson North Assembly plant. That's the Chrysler plant. That's where they make the Jeep Grand Cherokees and the
mm-hmm.
Jeep Gladiators.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. I love how that all came together. So let's talk about Bruiser Brigade for a minute. I think folks would have to be living under a rock to not know about this collective, but if anybody listening to this doesn't know, Bruiser Brigade is this incredibly unique and impressive unit, and you are an artist in this community. I was wondering just about being a member of this collective and sort of the pressure that you might feel from the outside to sort of move your art in a particular direction. Does it ever feel like you get that noise from folks? Like, does it feel like people expect you to move a certain way to fit what they think the Bruiser Brigade narrative is?
No, not really. Like, I before I was rapping, I was the engineer, you know what I mean, and the producer,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean.
Yep.
So I would just record folks and just do what I got to do. Me and Brown been friends for years, you know what I mean. So when Bruce Brigade came about, it's like it was just kind of natural. I'm repping the gang, I'm in the gang, I'm working with the gang, you know what I mean. So like
Mm-hmm.
I never really felt no pressure to rap. Like I say, I rapped when I was a younger man, you know what I mean? And then I quit for like, once I bought my first studio, I'm like, I was so busy recording other people that I stopped rapping myself, And
Yeah.
then I just started back rapping like maybe like 2 months before God Goku Jay-Z came out. I think I did the first song in November and then it came out in January.
Crazy.
Okay. Yeah.
So like I always rap in my head, you know what I'm saying? Like if I hear beats and
Yeah.
shit and I listen to beats, I make beats, you know what I'm saying? So I always be rapping in my head, but I never like just decided to rap. And then
Mm-hmm.
one day we was chilling at the crib. Black Noise put out his album Oblivion, and we had like a little listening party at the crib. And me and him was just sitting in the back listening to his album. And I looked at him and I was like, "Yo, go turn the mic on. I'm finna get on the track." It was a joke. It was really a joke. It was like a loaded joke. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and he looked. If he'd looked back at me and laughed, I'd have been like, I'd have laughed it off with him. But he was like, "For real?" And he went upstairs and turned the computer on. I went in and I recorded a couple joints, and then people just ran upstairs like, "What the fuck is that in the studio?" They busted in on me, and then it was that was we recorded Brown Noise and another song we recorded that night. But people went crazy. They like, "Oh, you need to rap, you need to rap." But then even after that night, I was just like, that was just a fluke. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I would listen to some, I always got beats and be listening to beats, and then I started like jotting in my phone some more. I'm like, oh, I'm finna, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
finna keep it
Yeah.
going.
I love that shit.
So to answer your question though, like I never really felt pressure. Like I think that's why my music is coming out so good right now because I'm not under any type of pressure to make money from
Yeah.
this shit or expect, to blow up. I'm not doing it for that. I'm just doing it because I like to do it. It's like a real
Yeah.
hobby pastime type of shit. So I don't feel no type of pressure with like making music or comparing myself to like Danny or Ray or Wolf or nothing like that. It's just I do my thing. We all just do our own little thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it feels like it's so natural for you.
Yeah, we like I
Mhm.
said, we just a bunch of homies, and like I'm fans of them first. You know what I'm saying? Like I really appreciate what Danny Brown and Fat Ray. Them is real rappers, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's just
Yeah.
like I'm not trying to compete with them, or I ain't competing with my brother. I'm just doing what I like to do, and if people like it, so be it.
Well, I know you just said it's not a competition. I don't really think of it that way either, but I've come to see you or think of you as the most similar to Danny Brown in some ways when it comes to your writing of all the
Hmm.
in the Bruiser Brigade. You both have
Yeah.
this way of like laying bare your struggles while using just enough humor to ensure that heavy shit you're talking about doesn't overwhelm the listener. And I think that's a fine line. And you walk it pretty frequently on third shift. Tracks like Cheese, 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 or Don't Do Drugs come to mind. I'm wondering, how do you know when you found the right path to take when writing about such real and serious issues?
I definitely got a lot of it from Brown. You know what I mean? Like I always that's always impressed me about him. You know what I'm saying? That he was just like so he could put his insecurities out there and then just make it kind of sound hard or relatable. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like it's like a corny thing or it ain't like it's a you being soft or something. It's just you just telling the real, man. Sometimes when you bury your soul, you know what I'm saying? You gonna find kindred spirits there relate to you. You know what I mean? And me and him is both Pisces. We born like 2 days apart, and us being best friends, you know what I'm saying? We kind of got a lot of, similarities, you know what I'm saying? Like astrological similarities in how our personalities are, you know what I mean? So I think that might have a lot to do with it too. We both Pisces.
It seems to me like your writing continues to become sort of more and more personal. Does it feel that way to you?
Yeah, yeah. Because you got to get over the hump. Like at first, when I was doing God Goku Jay-Z, it was like some rap, rap, rap. You know what I mean? Then I was like, I felt like it came out a little bit on there, but like the more and more comfortable I get with the raps, I'm more comfortable with like letting a little bit more like more personal bars, get into the songs. You know what I'm saying?
Does that feel like an intentional thing or it just kind of happens?
Yeah, it just kind of happens. I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a Debbie Downer. If everybody know me, I'm a real fun, lighthearted person. You know what I'm saying? So if it get a little dark, that's how I was feeling in the moment. You know what I mean? Not to say that's necessarily my personality or nothing, but sometimes when maybe your music could be a reflection of something you thinking. You know what I'm saying? That's like not the first person. What do they call that? Like that's not the perception of what I'm about or what people see. But like when they see my music, they're like, damn, I didn't even know he was going through that or whatever.
Yeah.
I think third shift is a reminder for me that there's this unique art of storytelling that exists within the hip hop Detroit scene. And storytelling feels like such an effortless task for you. I'm wondering if being part of this community, is that what helped you define and confidently share your experiences through your art?
I don't like. Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Like I feel like I got good. Like I said, I got good examples. I got like Danny Brown, who you know what I'm saying, who a lot of his songs is like telling about shit like that most people is not gonna get on the mic and brag about. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
kind of see how that worked for him. And like I say, us being Pisces and having us being similar a lot. I just taking a little bit of that and just trying to put my own sauce with it. So I don't it's not like a community. I know a lot of the Detroit artists. I grew up with a lot of these guys. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't feel like that necessarily is affecting what I'm doing. Maybe more so. Like I say, I saw what worked for Danny, and I'm like, let me take a little bit of that sauce and try to, you know what I mean, import and
Hmm.
incorporate that in my game and see if that'll work for me. Because a lot of things we think similarly about.
Yeah. Yeah. So, sort of sticking to the storytelling for a minute, I really appreciated the narratives that are captured through the stories you're sharing on third shift about
Hmm.
yourself and also the people around you. When you were creating content for this project, did it feel important to shed light on the experiences that are mostly unknown to folks outside of your community?
I didn't look at it that way, but since you say it, maybe I did think about it in that way, but like
Mm.
that wasn't necessarily the focus. You know what I'm saying? The
Right.
focus was just like, let me just, this is just what was on my heart just talk about, when we got a chance and something like you say, the beats invoke the emotion or whatever. So, I'm going through beats, and that's what that particular beat drew out of me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Cause like I think about it like a poet, how can I, you know what I'm saying? How can I make a poem out of this, to this soundtrack? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like maybe that's more so just the beat and the production that made me, say whatever I was saying on any particular song.
Yeah. So again, it's just like a natural thing that happened.
Yep, natural.
So Squadda B not only produces this project, he's a feature MC on the
Yeah.
track Take Flight. I'm wondering about the decision behind him to join you on this. Did you both feel like it was essential that people listening to this project hear the voice behind the production? And
Yeah,
did you
yeah,
think it
for
would
sure.
did you think it would allow them to further connect to the project?
Yep, yeah, for sure. We had recorded a couple joints, and then I feel like when he played the Take Flight joint for me, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay. I'm sitting there doodling and shit. And I'm like, you about to get on here, you know what I'm saying, with me. And then I'm like, he came up with the hook, the take flight, take flight. I heard him mumbling that. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, put that down. So he put that part down. And then I was like, just go ahead and, go ahead and rap. You know what I'm saying? Put your shit on here. You know what I mean? So I make sure, because Squadda rap too. You know what I mean? He got an album coming out. You know what I mean? He rap. So like I say, he could have got on more songs. Really, I was asking him like, "Yo, get on this, get on that." He's like, "No, you killed it, dude. You just keep it like that." I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Well, we've been talking about storytelling, and I was talking about you sort of expressing your struggles at times. But more than anything else, I think what folks might think of when they think of Bruiser Brigade is punchlines and shit talking. And
Yeah. We some king shit talkers, man. That's all we do is sit up and talk shit, man. Bruiser Brigade. A lot of us is getting older now. We don't slow down, but that's what at the beginning. That's what it was about. Let's just get drunk and talk the most shit we could possibly talk.
and y'all are good at it. It leads me to my favorite track on the album, Something Else.
Yeah.
Fucking with the bag. You niggas ain't touching shit. Cheesy ass niggas, I can see it on your fingertips. Flaming hot Cheetos. 100 bitches on my dick. You could be the cheetah girls. I be on some cheat shit. Rice Krispie treats. I know how to treat a bitch. Tell her keep the change. I don't really need a bitch. I'm a whole Pia OG. She gotta see the shit. Tell me, are you that somebody like Aaliyah shit? I made her believe in Belize. I'm a kid snip. Catch her out with me. Best believe she gon' plead the fifth. Trap queen, serve your whole team if you need a fix. Kitty hopping out that long sleeve and that cheetah print. There's palm trees everywhere that we done went. You better off trying to put your hands on a brick of fence. The levels that she take you to pay the rent. I call her the ops, cause every nigga that she meet then spent 200 for that little piece of meat and grits. Top cat, no top hat, I'm putting on the Ritz. When it come to who got money, the shit is hit or miss. Even though you been that nigga, you was never this. Something else. This shit hard, this something else. If you can't do it, do something else. Ain't no fucking with us, try something else.
It might be one of my favorite songs of the year, honestly. Fat Ray's verse is incredible. The beat is crazy. I've thought so many times of you saying hot as fish grease, but you still ain't hot as hell, which is, I think, sort of saying a lot with a little, which I love. It all feels effortless. Like this shit is easy for y'all. What kind of energy goes into a track like that? I mean, when we talked to Ray, I think he was at Bruiser Mansion, so we got a little taste sort of what there to hang out with you guys. But what sort of energy goes into a track like Something Else? Like if we're a fly on the wall in the studio when you and Ray are recording, what are we going to feel?
It's definitely, I ain't gonna say tense, but it's definitely there. Like when Fat Ray get on the mic, man, you got to be ready, dog. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like Fat Ray, that's like my brother. He like 2 years older than me, but like, he's never about to let me, like, he gonna try to wash me every time. Like, you know what I mean? And like, we've been friends since like teenagers and shit. So you know what I mean? Like, he not about to let me get away with nothing. And then when that beat came on, I was like, oh man, I'm like, yeah, we about to get on here. I knew it as soon as I heard the beat. I'm like, I know what he finna do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there, I'm typing in my phone. I'm like, let me get this right, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Because Ray been on all my albums so far. You know what I'm saying? It's like he'll wash you. He will wash you if you don't do your thing, man. So yeah, it's kind of like if you was a fly on the wall, you would see me in the corner typing on my phone, him rapping the shit, and me just trying to keep up, basically.
A lot of focus, it sounds like.
Yeah. I had when you get on the track with Fat Ray, man, you got to be focused, bro.
He also joined you on NASCAR, which is another incredible track on Third Shift. I love the
Thank
beat,
you.
I love the rhymes, and yeah, Fat Ray's feature is perfect. I heard you say once in an interview that you think of the MCs you collaborate with on a given project as instruments.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about Fat Ray in that way, what do
hmm
you appreciate about him most?
In my delusions of grandeur, I think I'm Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm in the studio. I tell this person to do this. I tell this person to do that. I tell him to do that, and he like, I use Ray like how Dr. Dre would use Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
yeah.
Like, I might have an idea or whatever. Then if I know I need something to kill it, Ray, hop on this for me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Or, please get on here. So I'm using him like a contract killer. Like I got a joint that I know that's hot. You know what I'm saying? I put him on there. It's me not being like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not the main rapper in my group. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I feel like I'm on some Kanye or Dr. Dre shit. Like I'm really a producer, engineer, and then I rap and then I put together my project. So I'm just using all my homies to give me like the verses, you know what I'm saying, the hard raps that I need, you know what I mean, to entertain the crowd, you know what I mean. So that's how I use Ray, like
Yeah.
Kanye used Pusha T, or like how motherfucking Dr. Dre used Snoop Dogg. That's how I feel about Fat Ray. I call him in when it's time to kill shit.
Yeah. That's the perfect weapon to use.
You know,
Y'all
Um,
Danny is cool, but Danny ain't always at your disposal like that. Me and Fat
mm,
Ray, we hang out every day. You know what I mean? I see Fat Ray every day.
y'all actually watch NASCAR?
Yeah, I was really into NASCAR as a kid. I collected cars and shit. And then back in the day in Detroit, we used to always have those those race car jackets, like the tie jacket and the Valvoline jacket and all that shit. I was, not no more. I don't watch it, but like I can remember like as a teenager, like watching like Daytona 500 and Days of Thunder. You know what I'm saying? NASCAR's always been a thing to me.
Yeah, you guys were talking about Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Busch, and I thought either these guys watch racing or they had to do some research.
Like I say, when I was into collecting cars and shit, I had all the NASCARs and shit. Like you know what I mean? I had a chance to meet Mark Martin one time.
Nice.
He was cool as hell. He was driving for Ford Motor Credit. My auntie worked for Ford Motor Credit, and I got to
mm,
go meet him and take a picture with him and stuff. And I've been to a few like Michigan Speedway. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's too loud for me now in my older age, but as a kid, I
yeah,
like.
shit.
I can't sit still for that. I used to go with my dad every year to a NASCAR race, but
Then we got the Indy 500. It's not NASCAR, but you know what I mean. We got it's still racing. You know what I mean. We go down to that. I mean, we're plenty of times growing up.
That's cool.
I love racing. It's just like golf. Like I can go out and golf. You know what I mean. But I don't watch it. You know what I mean. It's kind of like it's too
Yeah.
slow to watch. And like a NASCAR is cool. If you know how you watch it on Fox, if I catch the end of it, you know what I mean. Like the last couple
Yeah.
laps, I watch the last couple laps.
yeah.
Okay. So you just mentioned this, and you might have already answered my next question, but you wear a lot of hats. You're not just a rapper, you're a producer, you're also an engineer. And it sounds like when you're working on a project, even if you're not using one of the outputs or two of the outputs, you're looking at a project through all three different, you know,
Yeah.
outputs, right? Like,
hmm
is that true? Like, do you look at it like if you when you were making Third Shift, did you sort of approach it as a rapper, as a producer, and also an engineer?
Yeah, I think that's my thing. Like I'm, me being an engineer, like I say, I done seen a lot of people put their albums together and projects together, and I don't think I look at it the same way they look at it. You know what I'm saying? I
Hmm.
more so look at it from the producer's aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like making sure what beats go with each other, what sonics fit with each other, what's the message. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, the visual. I'm thinking of a whole bunch of shit just beside the rap. The raps that's gonna come. You know what I'm saying? If you a
Yeah.
talented rapper and you know other talented rappers, we can get the raps out, but can we convey the vision and the message? That's what I try to do with all my projects. Be like somewhat conceptual. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to like You know, if
Yeah.
I'm on a God Goku Jay-Z, it was that. If I'm on a GoFundMe Corvette, it was that. You know what I'm saying? If I'm on a Lord of the Streams, I was on that. Like I'm just, it's more so like I'm not approaching it from what I think a normal rapper how they approach their stuff. I'm more approaching it like I feel like how Dr. Dre would approach it. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Dre gonna make his album. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah.
how was he? What is he thinking? I don't know exactly, but he's probably thinking of the Sonics. He's probably thinking of, you know what I mean? What people he gonna use on the album? What's at his disposal at the time? You know, what's the climate of stuff going on? You know, a lot of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think viewing a project like that in multiple ways gives you an advantage?
Yeah, yeah, it do. You know what I mean? I feel it do. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because you got to play to your strong suits. Like, you know, I don't feel like I'm the best rapper in my own crew. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I gotta use what I can to, you know what I'm saying? Get to
Yeah,
try to get me the advantage. You know what I mean?
for sure. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, you were talking about some of the concepts on past projects, and I wanted to ask you about your previous release, the Lord of the Streams
Yeah.
project. Could you talk a little bit about the inspiration for the theme on that project?
Oh, it's crazy. It was a joke, bro. It was a literal joke, and the joke just steamrolled. Like it became a life of its own, bro. We was just like I say, getting drunk down at the studio, and we had these swords. Danny went to like a Comic-Con one time, and he bought a bunch of swords. I don't know why he bought all these swords and shit. And so I'm drunk. I pull out the swords, and we was calling him the Lord of the North. You know what I'm saying? And the Loopers had gave me this fur coat. You know what I'm saying? The Loopers did something. They had a photo shoot, and they had like this big fucking 5X fur coat. So I put the fur coat on. I grabbed a sword, and I said, "I'm the Lord of the Streams." Really, it wasn't even streams. It was strings. It was the Lord of the Strings. I was like, "I'm the Lord of the Strings,
Lord
the
of the
Lord of the Streams." And I was so drunk when I was saying it. Everybody talking about, "Oh, did you say the Lord of the Streams?" I was like, "Yeah, the Lord of the Streams." So it went from strings to streams. You know what I mean? And then like I say, I went home and then like I basically like had a weird dream. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like I'm fucking in Game of Thrones type shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the Lord of the Streams and all that shit. You know what I mean? So it basically was like a joke. And then I had the beat. I think I had the beat for Winnipeg. Kevin Bailey made that beat for that one song that's on the Lord of the Streams with me and Ray called Winnipeg. And it was like, and it sounded like you know, what's that shit they call, you know, you go to that fair, you know, like the yeah, the
Renaissance
Renaissance
Fair.
Festival. Yeah. And I felt like that beat sounded like the Renaissance Fair. You know what I mean? So I'm like, after that, so I got that one beat, and then I was just going through shit, and I'm picking other shit that like sound like it go with it, and I'm like, oh yeah, this finna be like a character, the Lord of the Streams. You know what I'm saying? So basically, that's how that came about. It was a joke,
Love
but
it.
it kind of took on. It was a joke that took on a life of its own.
So then you must have had to go find like the clips that sound like they're from a storybook or from like a movie or something.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
had,
I wrote that. I wrote the story of the Lord of the Streams, bro. I wrote the story, and then it was like a paragraph, and then I put it in Chat GPT, and it made me a whole fucking lore. You know what I'm saying? And then I had Laura Gully, one of my other producers. I had him put the when Chat GPT gave me the file, I had him put that in the text to chat, and then we picked like the English lady's voice. It was like, oh shit. I actually got a look like through the road. I got like a little graphic novel I'm trying to do in a video game. I got one of the homegirls helping me out creating a video game and a little graphic novel to go along with it because I got a new project called Lord of the Streams Part Two. Because you know, Lord of the Streams is called Lord of the Streams, Greed in the Kingdom Part One. You know what I'm saying? So it's alluding to it's about to be a part two.
Tight.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. I
I
love it.
had this idea like that shit could go beyond like my rap career type shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking like licensing different homies to like play characters, you know what I'm saying, in the shit in the game and in the graphic novel. So really this shit could go on like past J.U.S, you know what I'm saying? If I can create the Lord of the Streams world, you know what I mean? We could do
Yeah.
some, you know, it could be bigger than just that concept. So I got a lot of those ideas on deck. I'm gonna keep that going throughout my career, the Lord of the
Yeah.
Strings.
Love that. Next
Yeah.
Comic-Con in the future where somebody's dressed up like J.U.S, Lord of the Streams.
You know what I'm saying? I see that in the future. Hell yeah.
as I've been listening to Third Shift this week, I've been thinking a lot about 2021 when Bruiser Brigade kind of like took over.
Yeah.
Like y'all owned the first quarter of that year, and by the end of the year, you collaborated with the Alchemist, and I just wondered what that year was like for you.
Oh, it was crazy, bro. I never, like I say, though, I never expected none of this. You know what I'm saying? I got, I'm a man of many hats, dog. So I never like expected none of this rap shit to really go for me. I grew up with a lot of artists, and me and Danny Rock. I've been on his roller coaster ride, so I'm like, I didn't really expect nothing of it. So it's like when we was like, we about to get this shit going and shit, and it was like, who we gonna put out first? Who ready? You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, my album is ready. God Goku Jay-Z ready, and they was like, fuck it, we gonna drop it, and then like that shit just, you know what I mean? Went off like a lit match. Like it was on from there.
Do you think the pandemic like contributed to that in some way?
Yeah. We was all stuck in the studio together, dog. Everybody was scared. Everybody thought they was gonna die. You know what I'm saying? So nobody didn't want to hang out with nobody, And we like, fuck it, man. We gonna get COVID. You might as well catch it from one of the gang members. You know what I'm saying? So we just all in the house. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted to go home. Everybody was in there all day. So, we got beats in the living room, beats in the middle room, beats in the kitchen, beats in the basement. Everybody was just working on music because it really wasn't nothing else to do. You couldn't go nowhere. You couldn't do shit. We was ordering DoorDash. You know what I'm saying? Getting drunk. You know what I'm saying? Making music. That was so that's how a lot of that music just came. Like so much music was made in that little time period. It was crazy.
We recently spoke to Rich Jones, who's out of Chicago, of course, and
that's my boy.
You have a verse on his new project. When we talked to Rich, he mentioned the importance of creating a sort of regional scene, like not just a Chicago scene, but one that includes other places like Detroit, St. Louis, and other Midwestern towns. You've also collaborated with Sleep Sinatra in the past, who's in Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
How important is it to you? Like, do you think much about creating a regional scene, not just in Detroit, but outside of Detroit?
I'm like I say, all these guys are super cool. I don't really think about it like that. I got enough to deal with me and Bruiser Brigade. You know what I'm saying? We from Detroit. You know what it is with us out here. So you know what I mean. But like I say, Rich Jones is a cool motherfucker. I met him one night, and then I went to see Shrapnel, fucking Prim Rock and Gurley, and I seen him. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was from Detroit. I just thought he looked like one of the Midtown Detroit people. You know what I'm saying? Like little hipster looking dude, you know what I'm saying? And they called him to the stage, Rich Jones. So he walks from the bar and gets on stage and starts fucking rapping and singing like an angel and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, cuz it's cool. And then like I got to talking to him and shit. He's nice, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm cool. And then like a lot of the guys from Chicago is cool. Rufus Sims is cool as hell. A lot of them motherfuckers, Mikey Rock is cool as hell. We know some of the Tech Life dudes, DJ Tay, Earl, they cool. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, like that's Chicago and Detroit. We always going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? People from Detroit have shows in Chicago. People from Chicago have shows in Detroit. So I noticed that a little bit. And then, it's on the street side of rap, like not my really side of rap, but a lot of the Ohio dudes and the Detroit dudes is kind of linking up now to the Toledo dudes. You know what I'm saying? They got a little thing going. But like I really don't think too much of it. Not that I'm not with it or you know what I mean, don't want to be a part of it, but I really don't think too much of it. You know what I mean? I feel like music is circular, like it's gonna go, this the map, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna keep rotating in a circle. Like Cali gonna have it, Texas gonna have it, Atlanta gonna have it, Florida gonna have it, New York gonna have it, Detroit gonna have it, Chicago gonna have it, now Milwaukee gonna have it, you know what I'm saying? So it's a circle. It's a weather pattern around the United States, like with music about what people consume and what people think is cool. So, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that, but it's always gonna keep rotating. You know what I mean?
Round bless the mic like Kazantai, but up the size of a banzai. Kick it like Muay Thai, flow like sci-fi. In high def, I'm righteous and still busting that up on that bitch chest. The verbal folklore been explored and employed by none other than them foes with the gold. And them bankrolls explode and your bitch and my target when I shoot my loud. Bullseye, my eyes tight-eyed, fried off the same shit that rock stars died from. Smoke something with your man, bitch. like Wyclef used to sell the cannabis. Manuscript, sick shit, prescription, addiction. Sniffing at a roll off the counter in my kitchen. Tripping off the shit that had Brian Wilson flipping. Experiment so much, it's a miracle I'm living. And I'ma die like a rock star. Die like a rock star. I'ma die like a rock star. Die like a rock star.
Every episode, we spend the second half talking about a hip-hop album chosen by our guest. It's one that has had an impact on them. And tonight we are talking about XXX by Danny Brown. So, J.U.S., I'm wondering, so I'm thinking about, the ways that you view, projects through their different outputs, an MC, a producer, and an engineer. So when you're thinking about XXX and you're looking at it through those different frameworks, what do you appreciate most about this project as an MC, as a producer, and as an engineer?
I feel like, well, XXX is personal to me, you know what I mean? Because then it changed my life. You know what I'm saying? XXX literally changed my life. We was just some guys from Detroit trying to make it, and all of a sudden we everywhere. You know what I'm saying? That took off like a match. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like it was important. Like, I feel like it was important to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I think it was kind of like the first of its kind. And like I ain't gonna say it was like, not, he wasn't like the first hipster artist or nothing, but he was like it was like hard and hipstery, and like it united a lot of communities together. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can see hood dudes bumping XXX, you see hipster dudes bumping XXX, you see, you know what I'm saying, all walks of life. There's something on that album that you could relate to.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I remember the reactions to this album from different people, and yeah, like it was pretty diverse. Like it was, the community listening to him was pretty diverse.
I remember after XXX came out, we had did Pitchfork Fest that year, and I remember my homeboy busting out in tears, crying. We tried to go get some food, like we was in the artist part, but the artist catering was like gone. So we was gonna go to the concession stands and shit, and then we ain't thinking nothing of it. You know what I'm saying? We just tried to mob across the field, and we got mobbed. Like, they was treating Danny like Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? I was like, my boy, he just started crying like, oh my God, we made it, bro. I can't believe we made it.
Yeah, this is an incredible album. I'm so glad you picked it. I haven't listened to it in a while. And as soon as I tapped in today, I was like, man, it just took me back to when I first heard it. It's just, I think it's perfect.
Yeah, there's some songs on there like that just songs of my life, like Pac Blood. You know what I'm saying? That mean a lot to me, and DNA mean a lot. You know what I mean? Fucking Fields mean a lot. You know what I'm saying? I can close my eyes and just like, I don't need a video for that. Because I'm just so close to it, I could see it without looking at a video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Were you around like when it was being recorded?
Yeah, well, no, not when it was being recorded. He recorded that with this. I forgot who he recorded it. I think his name was Magnetic. He recorded it with Magnetic, and like I had me and Chips, another member of Bruiser Brigade, been friends for a long time, and I told this story. It's like Chips left one of his CD. Chips was banging their CD in my car, and it was like a burned CD of they stuff, and then it had a lot of like what you hear on the Detroit State of Mind Part 3 and 4. On there, and I'm like, yo, man's is cold. I'm like, tell him to come up to my studio. I used to have a studio in this like office building and shit. And then when he came to the studio, man, I'm like, this can't be the guy. Like, this is not the guy. Like, who is this guy? Then he went in the booth. I'm like, oh, this is the guy. He's the guy. This is him. And we just started hanging out, and like by the time we was like hanging out like all the time, XXX was like done. You know what I'm saying? And we were just planning and planning and planning. You know what I'm saying? I would hang out with Skywalker too all the time. Me and him used to hang out all the time. Like, I mean, we still hang out, but I'm saying like back then, like we used to make beats together type shit, and he would just be playing me what he was working on for that shit. I'm like, dog, this I knew it was gonna be something. You know what I mean? But I wasn't involved in the recording of XXX, but everything after that I was involved in.
Yeah, okay. And Squadda B produced one of the tracks on this album, I Will.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to meet him back then, or? No.
No. I didn't end up meeting him till some years later. But like I say, Danny used to like be playing main attractions. You know what I'm saying? And like he's like, yo, this is the guy that made Live for. You know what I'm saying? Woo woo. He put me on who he was and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we had played. We played some festival, and they was on the festival, and then we got introduced back then. You know what I mean?
What did you think about Danny Brown when the first time you heard him rapping?
I
What
thought he
stood
was the
out to you?
best. I thought he was the best, bro. I thought he because me and Fat Ray we used to throw an open mic. You know what I mean? We worked at this. Me and Fat Ray worked at a call center, and
Hmm.
we would throw a lot of the people that worked at the call center was rappers. You know what I'm saying? So we like, yo, let's
Hmm.
throw this open mic, and we needed people to come to the open mic. I'm like, yo, let's get Danny to come to the open mic. He was like, bet. He was like, see if he'll do it. So he's like, yeah, I'll do it. And he came to the open mic, and we had a lot of like, I'm not gonna call no names, but like local Detroit rappers or whatever, and they wasn't really feeling it, dog. And I was like, man, these motherfuckers retarded. Like this is the best shit I ever heard. Like how y'all don't like this and I like this, and that's when I started seeing like a separation. Like yeah,
Mm,
I'm about to have to go this way. I'm about to have to rock with them. You know what I'm saying? Because if I could see something that y'all obviously not seeing, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
So that if that's just a story to kind of describe what you asked. You know what I'm saying? Like when
yeah,
I like
yeah,
yeah. So I personally when I even before I like met him, you know what I'm saying? I was listening to his music and shit, and I was like, oh, he's the one. He's the guy. You know
yeah,
what I mean? I kind of always knew, you know what I'm saying? He was about to be the guy too. You know what I mean?
yeah. You can feel that for sure.
hmm Cause he's a different dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's not your average
Yeah,
Detroit dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
like, and for me listening to the music, then me meeting him and shit, it just kind of solidified it even more. Like, yo, like if this dude could make this, like he finna the sky's the limit for him. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I think for me, it was his voice number one. It was just so, it was like nothing I'd ever heard. And then I think it's the fact that every Danny Brown project that I've listened to, he really brings you into his world
Yeah.
and you were in it from start to finish or whatever the project is and just immersed
hmm
in all the stories he's telling you. He really is so good at doing that.
It's like I feel like his albums is like he give you like the now. Like Danny gives you like whatever was going on back then, he giving it to you. Whatever going on right now, he giving it to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He ain't he ain't really trying to like. I feel like rappers be trying to like wash, rinse, repeat. You know what I'm saying? And that's not his
Right.
game. Like he giving you the experiences of like the now. You know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah.
in the now. Like Danny Brown is a rapper for the present. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta listen to it in the present. If you are lucky enough to hear it in the present time that is presented to you, it's gonna hit different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's funny you say that because I was thinking about this today. Like you really do see and feel the growth, his growth, because what you're saying, he's talking
hmm
about where he is now. You can feel all of that through the trajectory of his career and the albums that he's done.
Yeah, I feel like he started getting that shit like around like it's like they people was kind of tight. Like some people was tight with Triple X. That's why you get. I think that's why you get old. You would have to ask him, but that's my analogy of it. Like they want that old Danny Brown. You know what I'm saying? If you listen to
Hmm.
his older stuff, it was like so. You know what I'm saying? He was rapping hard. He was rapping.
Yeah.
Then you get the high pitched voice. It was like, man, do that other shit you was doing. Do that other shit, And people, he like,
Yeah.
man, I moved on. I'm past that. You know what I'm saying? He don't write sequels, man. He just write a whole new movie, dog. Ain't no sequels to his.
Yeah. That's a good analogy.
E, when you talk about his voice, do you think about his like high pitched voice or yeah?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
Dan,
And
when Danny when Danny talks, I don't know if y'all ever interviewed him or talked to him or something. When he talk, he real monotone like, and then
yeah.
it's not that high pitched voice. But then when he laughs or get excited, if he get excited about something, it shoots a couple decibels up. Like if it
Yeah.
goes a couple pitches up. You know what I mean? So it ain't like that's not his natural voice. That is his natural voice. You just got to get him excited. You hype him up, and he get to laughing. You gonna hear all of that.
Yeah.
That laugh gonna come out, and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like knowing myself, I'm surprised that I liked him because of that high, like that high pitched voice he would do
Yeah,
sometimes when he was
yeah.
rhyming, but I did really like it. I loved it.
Yeah, yeah, you know, and like a lot of people like I seen people making out. It's like, oh, it's like he going into character, but it's not like a character. It's just
Right,
people
yeah.
is dualities to people. You know, if you catch him at 12 in the
Exactly.
afternoon, he was up. You
Exactly.
know, this and the third, girl
Yeah.
mumbling and shit. You know, you catch him at 2 in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so it's not really. I didn't think of it as like he using like some kind of ill falsetto. It's just sometimes he'll get on that tip where that's his natural voice.
Yeah, we're not, there's layers to every person and including Danny Brown.
Yeah, facts.
I've always thought of it as an energy thing. And that's kind of what I love about it. Like different energies at different times and different.
Yeah, yeah. You know, different circumstances make you come different. You know what I'm saying? Different things make you sound different or wanna you gonna project it different. And then like, with that, think about how many songs this motherfucker got. Like how many times you gonna rap the same song in the same voice? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he trying to make it exciting, dog. I think that's what rap
Yeah.
is about. Like you gotta make that shit exciting. And I think that's what he was trying to do. And XXX just, it caught it. Like, ugh, like, you know what I mean? Because he don't rap. That's the introduction to the high voice. You start hearing it on there. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, he kind of added on another layer to it. By the time you got the old and shit.
Yeah, not just exciting, but like, of course, unique. Yeah, like just
Yeah.
there's nobody else like Danny Brown.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard, like I say, I when I first recorded the high voice, I was like, "What the fuck?" I like had to reset the compressor and reset the mic because I'm like, "Yo, how the fuck is he about to do this and shit?" But like once I got it, I'm like, oh, "Okay, all right, I know how to tune it to when he's in that voice, and then I know how to tune it to when he ain't using the high pitched voice." You know what I mean?
Different presets, different voices, huh?
Yeah, I got a couple presets for Brown, just depending on how he feeling that day.
XXX is the first time I'd ever heard of Bruiser Brigade. The track Bruiser Brigade.
Yeah.
What would you say has changed, if anything, in regards to Bruiser Brigade since XXX?
It's the same old bunch of guys, man. We kind of went through some evolutions, people in and out, and all of that type of shit. Out regular group shit, but for the most part, it's the same old homies. You know what I'm saying? Just making music, having fun. Making each other better. You know what I mean? Bruiser Brigade is Bruiser Brigade is like a really natural thing. Like I was just telling somebody this the other day. Like we always like Bruiser Brigade is like it's like a like dead near on some juggalo shit. Like it's everybody. You know what I'm saying? If you feel the music, you Bruiser Brigade. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's Bruiser Brigade. If this is your lifestyle too, then you Bruiser Brigade. So you know what I'm saying? And we had Bruiser. Like I remember seeing people. We used to perform Bruiser Brigade like in the beginning and shit. Like when that song was hot, like you should hear Bruiser. That's my crew. People like I'd have been out. Bruiser. That's my crew. I'd be like, what up? You know what I'm saying? So you kind of know you kind of you can see people as like minded when they shout out Bruiser Brigade. So you know what I'm saying? Bruiser Brigade is kind of took on a life that's like bigger than itself at this point.
Bruiser! That's my crap. Bruiser! But don't forget the bro. MGDs and Colt 45s. But don't forget that Mosin Ice. I'm about to drink a Heineken. I'm about to drink a Heineken. Better white bitch with a China friend. She gon' slide me and she gon' slide my friend. Bruiser! That's my crowd. Bruiser! But don't forget the bra. Coronas and bird eyes. Don't forget the Miller High Line.
Did people go fucking crazy when they heard that song live? Because it makes me want to flip over a tape.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I saw some stages, you know what I'm saying, where people marched it up and people was just like, it's indescribable, dog, how I think people turn up to that joint.
The energy on that track is just like unmatched.
We performed it in a small bar in New York one time, dog. I thought we was gonna get kicked out. I thought we was going to jail. Like literally, dog. I thought we was going to jail. I
can't even imagine that shit. Yeah.
It's a picture online. I'm like on stage with my shirt off, like I found that picture online a couple times, dog. We was in New York. We performed that shit from that event. Like we just looked fucking high as shit and fucking Like it is. I could smell that picture when I see it online. I can smell it. Like, oh my god.
Yo.
Yeah, I'm whispering to Skywalker. I'm like, yo, like after this, like clip the shit. We right out the back door. Like I'm gonna start packing the shit up. We out of here. I don't want to go to jail in New York. Like, we done tore up this bar, and they already done told us like, yo, y'all got to chill. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we was wild back then. And mind you, this was 13 years ago. Like we wasn't mature as we is now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can only imagine that scene, man.
So maybe that's one of the things that's changed is y'all have grown up.
Yeah, yeah. We grew up a little bit, you know. But it was like I say, it's been a wild ride. But you know, I enjoyed every minute of it. I wouldn't change a thing for nothing. And like I say, XXX, like I said, I looked at the list and I said, you know, if this ain't on there, we gotta talk about this because it's really an album that like I say changed my life and really showed me something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the case for a lot of people. It certainly was for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then like, you know, we got with the Fools Gold people and they took it up to the whole another level. Like them Fools Gold Day Offs and all that type of shit. Like that shit, like yeah, XXX was cutting up, man. For real.
Yeah. I can't believe I didn't notice, but Quelle Chris produced Monopoly.
Hell yeah.
I had no idea until today.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, what the fuck?
Quelle,
Where
shout
have
out
you
to
been?
Quelle, dog. That's my dog.
Yeah. I fucking love that song. It's so good. The beat.
Quelle is just talented as fuck on the beats and the raps, and man, that Quelle. Shout out to Quelle, dog. Fucking genius, bro.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, Rob, what else you got about XXX?
Some of the most graphic and explicit sex raps I think I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Somehow it's okay. Like
yeah. you know that's true, man. Like we like, damn, man. Everywhere we go, we gotta rap about eating pussy, man. But fuck it, it was fun. You know what I'm saying? Like it's fun.
I just think like it was just like Danny Brown was like, well, shit, this is my fucking life, and if you're going to be on the ride with me, like I just feel like
it's
what it is.
He uses like the same sort of like the vivid kind of storytelling that he has it on tracks like Fields, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also uses on tracks like I Will, and it just makes for such a honestly like I remember the first time I heard that track, I was like, I feel like I'm in that room with him, and it's a little awkward, but it's cool. Like,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like you're in it, you are in his world when you're listening. To
you know, like I say, I was hooked from when I heard it, and then like I say, when I met him and me and him actually started being cool, it's like I went over his crib, you know, and I never went home. You know what I'm saying? That's how I really feel about it. Like, and then like songs like Fields and shit, like. To mention that song, like that's one of those songs too. I could close me being from Detroit, I could just close my eyes and like see it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where I live, this house, field, house, field. And people think that's like a little melody or a hook, but like if you take your camera phone out and ride down Linwood in Montgomery, ride through Dexter, and it's like a house here, a burnt down house here, a vacant house, a field, a house, a field. You know what I'm saying? That's like. I thought that was the most ingenious shit ever. Like, yo, and where I live, it was house, field. And I'm like, you ride down Danny's grandma's block, it's like, damn, cuz. You know what I'm saying? You meant that shit, huh?
Yeah. I said this before on the podcast, but I've never been to Detroit, and I feel like I really got a sense of it when I started listening to Danny Brown, like through the stories he was telling about the city and his experience, you know, living in the community, and just through these stories that he's telling.
Yeah, I feel like it's like if you think about like just to say like Fields again, like when that was 2010, I guess it came out in 11, so you make it into 10. That's what it is. Now you go now on his new album, you heard that song. It's called Jen's Terrific Vacation. You know what I'm saying? It's a play on gentrification. You know what I'm saying? When you go to these same midtown areas right now. It's white folks walking their dogs. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. You know what I'm saying? So from Fields to Jen's Terrific Vacation, dog, look at that. You know what I mean? And that's crazy in itself. The same shit like it was happening in Brooklyn and shit. I know I got some homies out there that's telling me like, you know, where this used to be the hood and this used to be the hood. And like, now it's like fucking Starbucks, Whole Foods. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole different thing. So Detroit in itself, over the course of, you know, this whole Bruiser Brigade ride, you know what I mean? Like, has changed in a certain sense. The suburbs is the hood. The suburbs is kind of the hood, and the fucking the downtown hoods is now fucking high rises.
It's happening here in Philly too.
You know, we used to hang out at this spot called Bum Park. You know, it would be bums down there. We would go smoke weed in Bum Park. You know what I mean? Now it's like people out there sipping, like, it's like people drinking coffees, having martinis out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do not need a weapon. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just, it's a whole nother experience now.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, J.U.S, this has been a lovely conversation. Thank you for picking this album and just like talking about your experience with it and with Danny Brown and Bruiser Brigade.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the boss, Danny Brown, man. Thank you, brother. Changed my life for sure. You know what I mean? If I can get a chance to talk about it and big him up, I'm gonna do it every time.
Yes, absolutely. And congratulations on Third Shift. It's a great album.
Appreciate it.
Folks listening to this, go tap in immediately. Before we go, is there anything that you want to tell the people? You know, anything about Third Shift or any upcoming projects?
You know, shout out to Squadda B, you know what I'm saying? My brother, you know what I mean, came through and laced me. You know, we didn't know what Third Shift was gonna be, but we so happy that people was enjoying it, and you know, people was tapping in with it and liking it. So, you know, shout out to Squadda B. You know, Third Shift in stores now, all streaming platforms. We got a couple more videos coming from this project, and then we probably gonna do another project in the future too. I got another project coming out sometime this year, maybe early next year. Hopefully this year though, Lord of the Strings Part 2. It's already done. You know what I mean? But you know, Third Shift, we gonna ride this Third Shift wave, you know what I mean, and let people enjoy this for right now. Shout out to the whole Bruiser Brigade, you know what I mean?
Yes,
Fat Ray,
yes.
Bruiser Wolf, Quentin the Mod the God, Salooper, Skywalker, you know what I'm saying? Raffy, Never the Tiger, you know what I mean? Shout out to the whole gang, man.
That's right. Bruiser Brigade. All right, folks, this has been The Next Movement. Thanks for listening. Peace.
I'm on a mission, get my pockets fatter. Riding in them, it don't really matter. Bitches sucking dick, cause I'm fresh and clean. If I gotta pay for it, I'ma cause a scene. 2 long sleeves, on their way to Tennessee. Fucking with some folks, say they got them 10 apiece. This a 2-way trip, money counter, do it fast. Like a turbocharged LS3, that's how I'm on your ass. Yeah, we cash money. Since the juvenile, I met baby at the club. He said he liked my style. 4, 5, 6, it's a trip. Nobody move. I don't play no hoe games. I let these bitches pick and choose. I don't fuck with no names. I was born to bruise. Peter Piper picked peppers. I'd rather pick some shoes. Checks over stripes, but I like them 350 boots. Fall into the coffin. That's what my cousin said. Damn, I miss my dog. God bless the dead. Fast car, same color as the cushion. NASCAR, homecoming, Kyle Busch. Backfired at the light, had niggas shook. Backfired at the light, had niggas shook. NASCAR, homecoming, Kyle Busch. Backfired at the light, had them shook. NASCAR, homecoming, Kyle Busch.
NASCAR, homecoming, Jimmy Johns. Real shooter, I could suit up with LeBron. Charming ass nigga, I could lead with your mom.